What is my perspective on 200,000 Myria? Even though nothing I say is financial advice, I'm not talking about the dollar amount. I'm talking about, again, 200,000 Myria. Now, as of right now, people may be thinking, okay, the price isn't doing the best, but you know what? I still want to discuss this nonetheless because, if anything, if the price is hypothetically not doing the best and I'm dollar cost averaging, I don't know why I'd complain about that, but I'm not telling you to do anything. But personally, 200,000 Myria. Let's say for whatever reason Myria went to the price of 5 cents during, let's say, a fully fledged type of altcoin season. Now at that point, 200,000 Myria, 10,000. Because, 200,000 times 5 cents, 10,000. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, like, why would you care about that? Well, here's my perspective. If Myria is not the only thing I'm holding, I just wouldn't find that disappointing. Not to mention, if let's say out of that 10,000, I just saved 30% of that. So 3,000, right? And for whatever reason, in a make-believe scenario, I use that for the next cycle. And for whatever reason, during the next cycle, that 3,000 did a 10x. Maybe, let's say, it became 30 grand. Like, even at that point, I don't think it's that bad, considering, again, if that is not the only thing I'm holding. But yeah, besides that point, when I take a look at Myria, though, people like to say, okay, take a look at the price, it's not doing the best. But you know what? Because Myria had such a massive pullback, now 5 cents is nearly an 80x from here, which I find pretty kind of fascinating to see, actually, because just the thought of Myria at this low in price, quite a while back ago, a lot of my friends would have been like, oh man, if only Myria was that low in price. Now it's actually that low, right? Around that range, so to speak. But then now a lot of people just don't really like it. But personally for me, if I actually like the project and the price isn't doing the best, it is not something I would necessarily complain about if my intention is to dollar cost average, right? But again, this is just my perspective. I'm not telling them to do anything. Now, 5 cents market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply would be around 1.8 billion, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't seem like too ridiculous to me because, again, it's not a market cap that's like 50 billion, 100 billion. It doesn't feel like too outlandish to me, but besides that, what I think makes Myria special is that it has a focus on blockchain gaming. Now, if I take a look at it, Myria is a gaming ecosystem powered by Myria's Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution. Now, let me discuss this real quick, right? Because if I take a look at Ethereum Layer 2, what is it? Quite simply put, an Ethereum Layer 2 is basically something that allows Ethereum to be enjoyed while at the same time not necessarily having to deal with some of the drawbacks. Like, some people may be thinking, but isn't Ethereum a perfectly run blockchain? I actually don't think so. And hence, why a lot of these Ethereum Layer 2s do exist. But besides that, what are some of the drawbacks? For instance, sky-high gas fees, which I'm not a fan of. A lot of my friends are also not a fan of that. But besides that, nothing's perfect, so to speak, right? Also on top of that, the arguable scalability issues, which, it's been kind of noted for quite a while when it comes to Ethereum, at least allegedly I've seen. But besides that point, again, Ethereum, despite being very massive, has its drawbacks. So that's, again, where something like a Layer 2 steps in. But the thing is this, there are a lot of Ethereum Layer 2s out there. Like, there's a bunch. So it's a very kind of highly competitive market, the way I take a look at it, or should I say specific niche. But because, again, Ethereum is a very popular Layer 1 blockchain, it's not like that oversaturated, but again, there's still a lot. But still, even despite that, people may be thinking, okay, Myria, what could make it kind of stand out in a sense, right, in that kind of category? Well, it's because a lot of Layer 2s out there, they're just like a general Layer 2, where it's just like, hey, we're an Ethereum Layer 2, and that's kind of it. There's really no specific niche. There's really no specific kind of focus. But again, if I take a look at Myria, it has that aspect of blockchain gaming. That's the unique thing about it. But then as a result, because it is focused on that niche, when the market isn't doing the best, the pullback, I think, is just going to be a lot more. And also on top of that, the attention is going to be a lot less because it is not so mainstream yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, generally speaking, people think about a Layer 2 and they're like, oh, let's think about one that's like focused on blockchain gaming. It's literally just like, oh, we believe in a Layer 2. They want to kind of find usually some of the more popular ones, like an Optimism, like an Arbitrum, which, don't get me wrong, I still believe in that. But I also want to believe in something in Myria too, because I like that specific focus, and it just kind of makes it stand out. Again, it kind of works against it during a time when altcoins are not doing good, but at a time when altcoins are actually doing good, hypothetically, I think it does work towards its favor because it makes it stand out. And we've already kind of seen what Myria did historically speaking, but granted, historical performance doesn't guarantee future performance in my perspective. But then still, I felt like Myria showed a glimpse of brilliance, and that was not even during an altcoin season in my perspective, at least like the most kind of recent one that we saw, right? But besides that point, or should I say the most recent kind of rally before the big pullback, but besides that, when I take a look at Myria, why do I like its focus when it comes to blockchain gaming? Because to me, even though I don't think blockchain gaming is such a polished market yet, like for instance, a lot of blockchain games I see out there are not good whatsoever, but then still, I kind of want to be there and be a part of that journey because if I believe in blockchain gaming after it's already taken off in a mainstream type of way, after everything is already kind of solved, so to speak, then what's the point? I kind of missed out that journey, right? So again, blockchain gaming is still pretty okay size right now, but it hasn't become mainstream yet, which is why I still believe in it. And if I take a look at Myria, what I find pretty surprising again is that, the market cap of Myria is around 20 million currently. Like, there's many meme coins out there with a way bigger market cap than this, but besides that, when I take a look at Myria again, do I think it's going to be the #1 player out there in blockchain gaming? Probably not, but it doesn't need to. If it's just like even top 10, it's already fine. But besides that as well, this is just my point of view. When I take a look at Myria as well, again, it is kind of not really viewed as this very interesting project to a lot of my friends. They don't really think it's that fun. But you know what? It's not a meme coin, right? And I don't only just want to hold meme coins. I do hold some, but I don't want to hold only just that. So I still want to believe in some projects out there that have, good fundamentals the way you take a look at it. And Myria, actually, again, I like the fundamentals, but then the market cap is like kind of meme coin-like, right? Because when I just describe the fundamentals of Myria sometimes, people may be thinking, okay, what project is this? Like, at least some of my friends out there. But then when they take a look at the market cap, they're like, whoa, I'm like, it's so low. But I just find that pretty fascinating. Market cap is kind of meme coin-like in a sense, or it's kind of low, at least when it comes to these smaller meme coins. But then at the same time, the fundamentals are not like bad. So again, I'm just staying patient. Now, there's one thing I can do, and that is just stay patient again, because whenever the market wants to wake up, that is literally beyond my control. Like, I cannot demand anything when it comes to the markets. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. But ultimately, I'm just believing in projects that I'm a fan of and just holding and just waiting. I'm just preparing for a moment in time in which it does something, and that's about it. To me, that is just my mentality when it comes to this. I'm preparing, not anticipating the perfect time. Again, it's just preparing. I treat it like a marathon. It's not a sprint to me. But I'm still, a fan when it comes to Myria, but only time will tell. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.